town before. How good did all that feel?
Man, it feels super good. You know, like I said, my goal was to bring big time boxing back to New Orleans, and we packed it out. You know, so we can. You know, I had a tough, hard fight. You know, but you know, I got the job done. Got another knockout on my record, and you know, run the city out. And that's what I was trying to do, and that's what we did. So I'm glad everybody showed up.
Talk about the punch in the fifth.
Regis the belt.
Talk about the punch in the fifth. How did it set up? Did you see it coming? And how exactly would you describe that?
Honestly, I mean, I just hit him. You know, I mean, it's hard to describe. You know, I hit him in the body, and you know, he dropped, but he was. I mean, the dude, he was unknown coming in, but you know, he's gonna be known. You know, going out. You know, he gave me a real tough, hard fight. You know, but I mean, I hit him and he fell. I mean, I can't describe it. That's all to it.
Did you feel like that was the spot you were going to go back to later to get him? Like, did you feel like maybe you had broken a rib or done enough damage where you were going to go back there later?
Honestly, not really, because he didn't want to give it. Well, I wanted to, but he didn't want to give it to me. You know, he was covering up real good, so it took me a while to get back to that spot. You know, I had to set up the punch. I had to go ahead and set it up again for me to go ahead and get another punch in, because he was just, you know, he was real defensive. He didn't want to give me the openings and stuff like that. So I kind of had to work for it. I snuck him in, but at the same time, you know, like I said, I had to sneak him in. He didn't want to really give it to me.
Did you notice a difference after the fifth round knockout? Him trying to protect it a little bit more so than after knocking out the first?
Yeah, he was definitely trying to protect it a little more. You know, that's what made it actually harder. You know, because he was trying to protect his rib a little more. I know I hurt him and stuff, but you know, he was tough and he was swinging. He actually, you know, he got some power. As you can see my face, right? He got some power to him. You know, so. I had to still watch out. I know I hurt him, but at the same time, I still had to watch out for what he was trying to do.
In the long run, is it good for you to go into the eighth? You've had a bunch of short fights, the last few, with the tournament coming up. Getting a few rounds is a good thing, isn't it?
Definitely. You know, I needed this. Honestly, I really did. I really needed this. You know, my last 5 fights before this, it was a total of 10 rounds, you know, and 5 fights, you know, so I definitely needed this. You know, I'm glad this is a perfect opponent for me. You know, he was undefeated, he was tough, he took a lot of punishment, and he gave me a real good and hard fight, you know, so I really needed this before the tournament.
Did you think your jab would get in a little bit more than it did? Looked like the right scored some, but you didn't really get a lot where you left.
Yeah, I mean, with the jab, I was setting him up with the jab, but he was trying to counter me with a big right hand. So I had to really watch the jab because he was coming over the jab with a right hand. So I was throwing it sometimes, but I know what he was looking for. I was looking at him, and you know, it's chess, not checkers. But so at the same time, you gotta know what he's trying to do. You know what he's trying to do too.
His trainer said that he felt like you have a lot to learn to get to the elite level. You already are, because there's some things, defense and things like that. Obviously you won the fight, but you feel like
he said that after the fight, before the fight.
After.
I mean, that's on his trainer, whatever. You know, I can't say what his trainer said. You know, the dude was, like I said, the dude was tough. You know, I'm not gonna take nothing away from him. The dude was a tough dude. You know, and I needed this. Of course, I can go ahead and I go back to the drawing board and work on some things. You know, but and I might change my style up a little bit. You know, because most of the time, I know I can get people out of there. So I fight to where I can get people out of there. But now, you know, with a tough fight like that, I have to adjust, and that's what I did. I adjusted.
Tell me the emotions of this whole day, just from the time you woke up this morning to where you are now. What was it kind of like?
It's the same thing, man. Honestly, it was the same thing. You know, I couldn't let it get to me. You know, I still, like I said, I've been saying the whole week leading up to the fight, I gotta go out there and fight. It's a dude trying to knock me out, and honestly, this dude was trying to knock me out. This dude hit hard. He was tough. He was rugged, and he came to fight. And I knew that. Really, honestly, like I'm glad I prepared the way I prepared mentally, because I knew that this dude, you know, he was unknown, but he was coming to fight. You know, it's a lot of dudes, you'll think, you know, maybe this might be a slack up fight or whatever. I knew this dude was tough, and I know he was coming to fight. So I prepared for that.
I'm sorry, would you want to do it in New Orleans again, or was it just too much by the end?
It was the same to me. I could do it in New Orleans again. Of course I could do it in New Orleans. We bring out a bigger crowd next time. We go to Smoothie King.
Now that it is over with, can you process kind of the hoopla with the Indians and all the NFL and NBA stars and the governor behind you? Will you kind of be able to process that and kind of?
Yeah, I'll process it later. But right now, I drink some water and get a little break right now. But yeah, I process it. You know, I'll see the tape and all that. Like sometimes, you know, it's surreal. You can't really believe it's going on. It's you. You know, I was looking at the screen and all that when I came, and you know, but like I said, I got to fight. So now it's over. I'm glad.
Now you're going to Moscow next week. What's that going to be like?
Moscow. I'm going to Moscow Tuesday. Yeah. I got to announce the tournament. You know, we got to go ahead and announce the tournament and stuff, and you know, see what that's about.
They said you already had your plane tickets bought, so good thing to.
Yeah, good thing I won, right? Yeah, exactly. Right. That's why I said I had to win. I couldn't lose in New Orleans. I definitely can't lose in front of this. I told my partners, if I lose here, I'm not coming back. I guarantee I won't come back. I moved to Brazil.
What was your reaction when you were walking in and you saw all of those people in there?
For me, man, I was glad, of course, you know, I brought the city out, but like I said, you know, you can't really embrace it because you got to go and fight. You know, I had to go out there and fight, and you know, like I said, I knew I was gonna have a hard fight, so I had to go out there and do the same thing I've been doing. You know, of course, it's excitement, but you gotta know how to hide that excitement because you got a job. You know, you still got a job to do.
On that same, how important was this night for boxing in New Orleans? Do you think?
Super important, man. The city showed out, you know, and if I keep doing them here, the city gonna keep showing out over and over and over. This ESPN, you know, live on the, you know, undercard of the Pacquiao fight, you know, and live in New Orleans too at the same time. So I mean, this was real big, you know, for New Orleans. And like I said, my goal was to bring big time boxing back to New Orleans, and I did it single handedly.
Was it your idea to have the Indian